If you walk into a room and instantly start looking around to see who's watching you, you've already lost. Most men never realize it. But the moment you need attention, approval, validation, or recognition from other people, you hand them power over you. And the strange part is this: the harder you chase attention, the less respect you receive. The more desperately you want people to notice you, the more invisible you become. This is one of the oldest truths in human nature, and thousands of years ago, the Stoics understood it perfectly. So if you've ever wondered why some men command respect without speaking, while others constantly seek attention yet get ignored, stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll understand a truth that can completely change the way people see you. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The approval of such people, who do not even stand well in their own eyes, has no value." Think about that for a moment. Most people spend their entire lives trying to gain approval from people they don't even respect. They post for validation. They show off for validation. They brag, exaggerate, seek compliments, and desperately try to be noticed. But why? Why does a man's mood rise and fall based on the opinions of strangers? The Stoics believed this was one of the greatest forms of slavery. Not slavery of the body, but slavery of the mind. The modern world runs on attention. Social media platforms are built around it. Companies compete for it. Influencers profit from it. Every notification, every like, every comment gives a small dopamine hit to the brain. Studies have shown that social validation activates some of the same reward pathways associated with addictive behaviors. In simple terms, attention can become a drug. And like any addiction, the more you need it, the weaker you become. This is why the strongest men often appear indifferent to attention. Not because they dislike people, not because they're antisocial, but because they understand something most never learn. Respect is earned through self-mastery, not attention-seeking. The oak tree doesn't beg people to admire it. The mountain doesn't announce its greatness. Strength speaks for itself. Have you ever noticed that the man constantly talking about how successful he is usually isn't? The man constantly telling everyone how tough he is often isn't. The man constantly reminding people of his value secretly doubts his own value. Real confidence doesn't need witnesses. Real confidence exists even when nobody is watching. Epictetus taught that if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid by others. Imagine how powerful that is. Most people live in fear of looking foolish. They filter every action through one question: what will people think? But the Stoic asks a different question: is this the right thing to do? One man is controlled by opinions. The other is controlled by principles. And over time, everyone notices the difference. If you're finding value in this so far, take a second to like the video and comment below with the word Stoic. It helps more people discover these timeless lessons. And I'd genuinely like to know who's watching all the way through. Here's something uncomfortable. Many men confuse attention with respect. They are not the same thing. Attention is easy to get. Anyone can cause a scene. Anyone can be loud. Anyone can provoke reactions. But respect is different. Respect comes from consistency, discipline, competence, integrity. Respect grows slowly, like a tree. Attention arrives instantly and disappears just as fast. Think about the people you genuinely respect. Is it the loudest person in the room? Usually not. It's often the person who remains calm under pressure. The person who keeps their word. The person who doesn't need to announce their importance. The person whose actions speak louder than their words. Seneca observed that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. One reason men seek attention is because they fear being forgotten, ignored, or insignificant. But ironically, the obsession with being noticed creates the very weakness people instinctively avoid. Nobody respects a man who constantly asks for reassurance. Nobody respects a man whose self-worth depends on external applause. Human beings are drawn to strength, and one of the greatest forms of strength is emotional independence. Imagine two men. One posts every achievement online, constantly checking reactions, counting likes, measuring his worth through engagement. The other quietly improves himself every day, whether anyone notices or not. 10 years later, which man do you think has built genuine confidence? Which man has developed real character? Which man commands respect when he enters a room? The answer is obvious. And if you're serious about building that kind of mindset, make sure you subscribe now. Most channels will give you temporary motivation. This channel is about timeless wisdom that remains relevant whether it's today or 2,000 years from now. The people who keep returning to these lessons are often the same people who end up separating themselves from the crowd. The Stoics understood that attention is outside your control. People's opinions are outside your control. Praise is outside your control. Criticism is outside your control. But your character, your actions, your discipline, those belong entirely to you. And whenever you focus on what you control, you become stronger. Whenever you focus on what you can't control, you become weaker. This is why Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself that fame itself is meaningless. He was arguably the most powerful man in the world, yet he wrote about how quickly all recognition fades. Think about that. The Emperor of Rome understood that being remembered by others was far less important than being respected by himself. The truth most men never hear is that attention is not proof of value. Popularity is not proof of wisdom. Recognition is not proof of character. Some of history's greatest minds were ignored in their own lifetimes. Some of history's most celebrated figures are now forgotten. Attention comes and goes. Character remains. So the next time you feel the urge to impress someone, pause. Ask yourself why. The next time you seek validation, ask yourself what you're really looking for. The next time you worry about being noticed, remember this: the man who constantly seeks attention becomes dependent on it. The man who no longer needs attention becomes free. And freedom is attractive. Freedom is powerful. Freedom commands respect. Before you leave, comment below. Have you ever caught yourself seeking attention or validation from others? Be honest. Self-awareness is the first step towards self-mastery. And if this message resonated with you, like the video, subscribe, and remember this ancient Stoic truth. The man who needs attention is controlled by others. The man who needs nothing from others cannot be controlled. And that is the man people respect.